Okay, so I'm just going to show you real quick, you know, getting things together still. This is not quite mise en place, right? But we're getting our things out. So we have the recipe, we have our tools. I just reorganized my pantry. So I just pulled this whole bin out, and then I have my oats and my mixing bowl and measuring spoon. So let's get to it. Okay, and I'm actually going to start with my dried fruit, because the only dried fruit that I have in my pantry right now are dates. With dates, they're obviously really big, and there's a pit in the middle. So we need to get that out, and we need to chop them up. So I'm just going to take my paring knife and carefully, because you don't want to cut yourself, I'm going to pull this in half, and you can see the pit right there. And I'm just going to toss that aside. I'm going to do this with the rest of them before I chop them up. Okay, so I used a paring knife to cut those open and get the pits out. But now to actually cut them, I'm going to use a small chef's knife. So all I did was stack the two halves. I'm going to cut that in half again, and then run my knife over them so they're in little bits and pieces. Now, you don't have to go through this trouble. You can obviously, maybe not obviously, you can buy dried fruit that is already cut up in some cases. Just take a look at your dried fruit section, especially if you have a bulk foods section in your grocery store. That's usually the best place to buy things like this, the cheapest way. You do want to look at the ingredients. For the healthiest option is going to, they're not going to have added sugars. And the reason why that is important is the added sugar, like dried fruits are already concentrated with their natural sugars. So, but you're still getting a lot of beneficial nutrients with these. Like, I'm going to use dates as an example. You're going to get a lot of good nutrients in a very small amount. So you don't need much. But when there's added sugar, now you are going to increase your blood sugar levels all the faster. They're going to rise very quickly and very high, and then it's going to crash very quickly and very low, and that's going to leave you feeling snackier. So you want dried fruit that doesn't have all the added sugars with it. You want a natural dried fruit. Okay, so next I'm going to keep it fairly simple. I am using pumpkin seeds. I would recommend no salt added on your seeds, just so that you can control your salt intake. It's always better to have these things not salted and add some for flavor's sake rather than be overwhelmed with the salt. And they tend to be overwhelmingly salty. So 1/3 cup of your choice of pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds. Again, I have pumpkin seeds on hand, so that's what I'm using. Unsweetened coconut flakes. If you do not like coconut or you are allergic to coconut, you can omit this and it will not affect your recipe. Try not to make a mess with it as I am doing right now. It's a good thing my house still needs to be cleaned. And then lastly, before I get to chopping some nuts, I'm going to grab the flax seeds out and measure out my 1/4 cup. So now I have 4 of the ingredients already measured out. Okay, so for the nuts, we need 1 cup total. I have pecans and sliced almonds, so that's what I'm going to use. The pecans, I want to run my knife through those a little bit and get some smaller pieces. So I'm going to fill this roughly halfway. It's a little bit more than, that's okay. The sliced almonds are small. We'll take care of that later. So we're going to dump those pecans right on the board, and just using the same chef's knife, just carefully run your knife through them. They don't have to be uniform or cut a certain way. Again, this is all personal preference. I just want to have pieces. You can also buy pecans already in pieces. Your almonds you can buy slivered or sliced like I have them. You can get whole ones and throw them in the food processor and chop them up, into smaller bites. Your peanuts, again, you can buy those in pieces or whole and chop them up. What else do we have? Almonds, pecans, cashews, walnuts, same thing. I'm not sure that cashews you can buy in pieces already. You could chop those up if you want to. But walnuts, I know you can buy in the halves or the pieces. So quick chop through of those pecans. And then we're going to scoop them up and put them back in our measuring cup. And now that we have the pecans all scooped up back in our measuring cup, now we can top off that 1 cup with the slivered almonds. And you will be able to see in the bowl that this is going to be a good ratio of almonds to pecans. So this is what my mise en place looks like right now. I have my oats ready to measure. We're going to do that first. And then I have nuts, flax seeds, coconut, pumpkin seeds, and my chopped up dates, and my measuring spoons, which I really only need 1. You can add salt to it, which I think I will, but cinnamon is going to be the other ingredient that we need that for. Okay, so in here, we're going to do 4 cups. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so as I mentioned, the nuts and seeds that I have are not salted, but I like adding some salt to my recipes just to bring out some of the flavor. I'm also going to do an additional step in that I'm going to actually toast this. This is not in the cookbook, but it's something that I want to give a try, and that is going to help with some flavor as well. So I tossed in the salt and the tablespoon of cinnamon, adding in the nuts, the flax seeds, the coconut, the pumpkin seeds, and the dates. So here we have 2 options. We're going to start with this guy. See that I can break this up. It all just needs to come together. And like I said, this is a mix and use. This can be used for overnight oats like I'm going to do, or you can actually cook it on the stove for a hot oatmeal as well. The choice is yours. But otherwise, this is the power muesli. Like I said, I'm going to put this on a pan in the oven at 350, probably for no more than 10 minutes, just to toast up the oats a little bit and the nuts a little bit. And then I'll put it in my meal prep containers for some overnight oats. Okay guys, this is the finished product. So it's just a little bit toasted. It didn't go too hard. I did the 10 minutes at 350. And it's in a cute little container to put in my pantry for when I need it. And I can, like I said, I can do overnight oats or I can do cooked oatmeal with it, and it has all of the good stuff in. And that's the power muesli.